we are going to be speaking about the AI advantage, accelerating IFM service excellence, and it's Nush Cekdemir from Planon.
Good afternoon. I hope you are digesting well your lunch, and I'm happy to guide you through our 20 minutes presentation. My name is Nush Cekdemir. I'm the Director of International Business within Planon with a global responsibility for our field services domain. And I will explain you in a minute what we are going to do. A lot of spoken about the rise of AI already. Before I do that, I want to take you also with me on a glance of the fast evolving IFM market. And I especially mention IFM because FM in diversifies multi-service offerings has also that abbreviation. So forgive me if I do not plot it exactly on your FM, the FM abbreviation. Then the AI nexus, hyperautomation. I will get back on that later on. AI on its own, very good, but we think that there is another umbrella to look after. It brings a lot of advantages or disadvantages. What does it mean in IFM-driven processes? And at last, of course, how does it converge to tangible business cases? And I will also show you some use cases during the presentation. Of course, the fast evolving IFM field services market and IFM market is subject to demand and supply legislation, as we all know. Energy transition, electrification, smart buildings with all their BMSs in various generations, numbers of customers with their demands. Renewables, for example, are they subject to a building or are they solitary in an infrastructural grid? EV charging, is that subject to a building or is it microgrid or infrastructure? But the fact is that there are sometimes before a building and EVs are raising drastically. So how to charge then all these cars or making smart appointments with these EV chargers? Something to consider. So basically what we are seeing is that the boundaries of FM are getting more out of the building to the built environment. And there are also other parties involved. We were busy with this microgrid and the EV chargers. So, like any other industry, is an opportunity or a threat. But there is, let's say, something to consider in that era. Sustainability management, something which is in my part of Europe very, very high on the agenda, subject to legislation, and helping customers to become net zero. But also looking at all that data and all the demands which are raising in that fast evolving FM market, it's very difficult to orchestrate all that data. And AI can of course help in aspects of that whole process, but not solve it all. So Vedantics in 2024 defined CPIP, which is basically the third, fourth, whatever, next generation CAVM, which is completely IoT, AI and hyperautomation enabled. And that's something different than connecting to these kind of technologies. That's completely something different. And not as a goal on its own, but as a prerequisite to be able to orchestrate and use of the data in tangible business cases for both end users, customers, owner-occupiers, as well the providers. Okay, back to the rise of AI that has mentioned already a couple of times, which was of course to be expected. We all know, I think we are on one page with the cause of the rapid adoption of that, introduced by ChatGPT, that was the accelerator. But we knew all that it was not new in the market. Sometimes there is a consumption or consumerization adaptation, a way to accelerate and where the businesses are going to anticipate on. I cannot even count the number of questions that I've had, these typical dinner party chats, like, hey Nush, you're in the software industry, aren't you? I said, yeah, that's correct. Are you doing AI? So I don't know how familiar that sounds, but I've had tons of these questions. Now it decreases, by the way. So like everything, And of course, if we mention that it was already there, then indeed it was already there, but not that known and not that explicit and not in the way like we know it as now of today. In the customer experience, in workforce and HR, in operation and finance, there were already, smart algorithms which has the behavior of AI and doing already aspects of a certain process and make that already smarter. So we all, I think, agree here today, what I've learned and what I see, that AI is going to have a big potential to change the IFM industry or the FM industry. You see the example of Google DeepMind with a 40% reduction on their cooling costs. But we think, as a statement, and also based on researches in the market, own investments, own investigations, and also listening and reflecting with market parties, that hyperautomation is the umbrella above AI, and that will revolutionize the FM industry. And hyperautomation, what does it mean then? It's basically an umbrella which consists of AI, algorithms, and a way of process learning, also known as process mining. So an end-to-end automated process with AI agents on each essential part of that process. And why? Because if we have an incidental AI, let's say, function or part of the process, then the pitfall is that it will generate even more work for us. Because what do we need to do with all these outcomes? And I will give you also an example of that later on. So it's not our invention. Hyperautomation was already invented by Gartner as a definition many years ago. This statement is from 2022. It was even prior to that. But the combination of the adaptation of AI makes hyperautomation, I think, more actual than before. Perhaps a brutal statement, opinion, by the way. Less than 5% of all our service providers have implemented AI or hyperautomation. And that is a little bit in line of the prior speaker of this morning who said, okay, are we talking about it, are we doing it, or whatever in between? So we think that hyperautomation is the nexus of driving AI in IFM, for whether it is for cleaning services, soft services, even occupancy management and restaurant or catering services can be related to that, maintenance management. So we have so many examples from that. An example, of course, is in the cleaning with predictive and prescriptive capacity planning. I need a little bit of water. And that helps, of course, to plan and to be prescriptive what you need to do your job. Because it has been identified that the occupancy was different, certain areas of building was not used, so why then take not different measures and different actions to your employees? Trusted environment experiences, proving what you have done and analyze that with AI and distribute that also to your end customer, transparent. Contextual health and safety management to optimize the facility environment risk management. And also guided activity support. Make use of all kinds of panels or mobile user interfaces to guide your employees, in this case cleaners, through their route and their activities and what they should do, differently than the normal regime. And all to make the process more efficient and tailored to the situation as it is. And in field services with blue collar, and of course all these functions can also be mixed and matched. This is just a subset of them, just a subset. Virtual assistants, knowing that we are getting older in Western Europe, that's already a trend for I don't know how many years, so it's already difficult to hire good people. Scarcity, knowledge management, so the way to empower our technicians or knowledge workers become more critical, So a virtual assistant with AI is really, really sufficient to do that. As well, a hybrid combination of real-time context-related remote support with a virtual assistant, a combination of human and machine. Automated stock parts prediction. So, you're going to the job with a certain task. I will give you a use case later on. where it's really applicable, and all these parts are already foreseen and planned, even logistically. That is very handy, because capacity is also a given, a topic. It is not always a thing like cost saving, but also capacity is really a big thing. So increasing capacity is really desired. AI search assistants, okay, I think that's more familiar. We're already using that, and that can also be used in the context where you're working in your work orders. And of course, I mentioned the virtual assistant, but also augmented reality, guided support. It's also not new, I think, more than 10 years already, but really embedded and embraced in a work process. That is not that often happened, but again, driven by AI and this embracing this new technology. Also, AR is revitalized, I would say. Last of the, let's say, then I will present a deeper use case. Also not forget the, let's say, the customer itself, the owner-occupier, in the demand and supply, how to engage better with the customer. I always mention, if you repair a lighting system, you won't get an applause, because it used to work orderly, and yeah, then you already repaired it in the state that it used to be. So how to engage more in the process, how to be more transparent on where you are, what have you done, I have done your ticket orderly, whether or not via an AI chatbot, interactive map guidance, if you have big plans, and there are on universities, difficult to find your way, even for technicians, but also for their own employees. And these kind of applications related with also context-aware recommendations, where you are and what can you do on that place. Can you book a room? Can you connect with your colleague or whatever? That is really applicable for end users, which can lead to a better total experience. I promised you to go a little bit deeper in the hyperautomation use case, and that is also in line with what we saw this morning, because the Dementimeter was really high on the maintenance management. So I'm lucky because I choose for that scenario. There are more scenarios, but I choose for that one. And that is how to use that for prescriptive maintenance, which is even the next level of predictive maintenance. What you see here in front of you is, let's say, a building, like there are many of them, with all kind of processes and technologies and assets, with a platform which is capable, agnostically from which BMS, which generation, whether or not slightly retrofitted, to do analytics on inefficiencies, AI analytics. An example, for example, is a lighting system. A lighting system which causes physics on an electrical network, such as harmonics, it's a little bit physics, but can imply that the lighting system is going to be in fault or will be broken. So you can avoid this situation already. It can also consume more currency from the network as a blind currency. A little bit electrical stuff, but really important. If you looked at compare that to compliance, they are not compliant on that moment. So there are a lot of things which can be detected and already could take an action on before it happens. What will happen is that event will analyze the inefficiency, including the euros or the pounds that it can save, possible cost savings, will be routed by the CPIP platform with AI decision agents within the context of, and the constraints, must I say, of the contract. If it is within the constraints of the contract and without any human intervention, it will be distributed whether or not to a subcontractor, the service provider's own technician, and can do with the prescriptive information of the analytics his work. And that whole cycle creates a huge efficiency and also potential cost saving for, let's say, the owner-occupier in that building. Another example is overpressure and underpressure in airco solutions. It can that a solution gives a fault, but the fault is not really a fault. It's just caused by too much doors open, windows open, overpressure, underpressure. The traction of the motors will behave differently. The system is capable of learning their behavior on certain moments of the day. And then it will recognize that it's just the building where we're in. The asset knows then, or the analytics knows, oh, you're installed in this building with this behavior. So as such, we do nothing with it. So just an example. And what I will do is also provide you a movie to make it a little bit more human interaction, because now it looks on one machine with one robot, but of course there are humans involved in this process.
The demand for outsourced field and facility services is driven by customers seeking enhanced experiences and value. At Planon, we provide technologies that ensure customer satisfaction and loyalty with a focus on engagement, deliver a total experience, minimize financial risks in service delivery, demonstrate the value of technology investments. With Planon Field Services, ensure critical assets run efficiently, detect issues early, and enhance service delivery for better customer and employee experiences. The Planon Field Services platform uses hyper-automated processes to ensure tasks are completed quickly and correctly the first time. Planon Field Services supports critical teams with IoT data capture and detailed analysis of building usage, asset performance, condition, and energy use. Hyper-automated processes for faster job ticket creation and dispatch. Mobile tools providing field teams with essential knowledge. Prescriptive analytics delivered directly to mobile devices for more effective maintenance. Context-aware health and safety checklists for safe working environments. A generative AI assistant to help teams find the right information and process mining for holistic end-to-end AI continuous improvement proposals. Enable field teams to automatically capture site details like materials used, time spent, and customer sign-off on completed work. Automated processes minimize financial risks and keep ERP systems updated for accurate invoicing, all backed by the industry-trusted Planon platform with integrated modules for managing customer goals, technical maintenance, soft FM, space management, energy, and sustainability, all designed to build satisfaction, trust, and loyalty. Planon, helping critical field and facility services teams to exceed customer expectations every day.
So now I think that you won't forget where I work. So, coming to a conclusion, and I would not like to jump to a conclusion, more a conclusion in perspectives, because there are way more perspectives and way more topics to bring in this relevant balanced scorecard, so to say. But from a customer's perspective, it's always important because they are paying the bills. A total experience, helping customers in exceeding their expectations on each aspect, with engaging them in your processes. Traceability, transparency, net zero challenges on the customer side. And on the shareholder side, because we all want to have a healthy company with good margins, otherwise we cannot be a good company for our customers, is mitigate financial risks, of course, jeopardy management, but also increase capacity. And also by increasing capacity, you have also more time to do toolbox meetings, to create knowledge management even to a higher level. So there are a lot of causal relationships in all these examples. And processes, of course, need to be in place on a continuous improvement manner, and that will be supported by process mining to see also whether or not you made your SLA, what can be better or what went wrong even in that whole process timestamp procedure. And there also AI examples will present measures to improve and to consider. And of course, innovation and technology, and having a CPIP platform, Connected Portfolio Intelligence platform, truly IoT-enabled, hyper-automation, AI, not as a goal on its own. That technology is never a goal on its own, but as a prerequisite to create and facilitate this, new processes and new service delivery opportunities for the FM market, based on a truly tangible internal rate of return, OPEX-based business scenario with true value. Thank you.